we've struggled rebounding the basketball, playing small all year. We kind of got pushed around in the second half of just about every game. And, yeah, that's a really good rebounding team. I mean, full disclosure, they played 3 games in 3 days this weekend. I don't think that's the real SIUE. I think you'll see in OVC play, they're likely to win that league. But it doesn't, I mean, we'll take it. We don't care. We're tired as well. We had a long trip. So to hold them to 10 offensive boards, and several of them were early on in the game. And then, you know, I thought, you know, Preston Rudiger, you know, he sprained his ankle in shoot-around against Western. And it allowed us to get Ben Tweedy a lot of minutes. And so we kind of toyed with it. Do we keep Tweedy going? He was playing really well. Rudy will do whatever you ask, but I don't know if you guys saw, he's a plus 36, you know? And people make a big deal about points and assists, whatever. We were 36 points better than him with Rudy in the game. That's amazing. And then this guy's so talented, you know? Can't make a dunk, but the other ones he's pretty darn good at. And, you know, I don't think he got nearly as many calls as he deserved, especially they're running underneath him on threes. But he's a special scorer. And I think the thing that I'm most proud of him about is, you know, we took him out several times because I just told the guys, if you don't box out, if you don't rebound, you're going to come out. And then he got a little, what's called thirsty, you know. He can take his guy and he can get, it's amazing how he can get a shot off, but that doesn't mean that's the shot we want. So, but he does a great job of taking it like a grown man. And in basketball, you are who your best player is. And when your best player says yes or no, sir, and comes out of the game and doesn't mouth back and just gets ready to get back in the game, you're in a good place. And we haven't had particularly good practices since we've been back. He was terrible the last day and a half in practice. But he's a gamer, and he found a way to put it together. And, I mean, I feel bad for those guys that can't guard him. So that's the opening statement.
It's your first road win already, now first home win. They all equally as sweet when you kind of take a second to reflect?
No, this one's more important. I mean, road wins are amazing, but we had our 1969 club and some donors in there after the game, and those are our day ones. You know, I know this is a really good team. I know this is a really special player that people should come from all around the Fox Valley. Hell, come up from Milwaukee to watch games. And they're going to come because the more they look down at the box score, they're like, I want to go check that out. But those people that were there tonight, they believed, or at least they wanted to see what it was like before they knew. And so you got to give people a reason to believe. And, you know, there's a lot of coaches in the country, and I'm not being critical of them because everybody has their own process that plays NAIAs, Division IIs, Division IIIs early, load up on wins, keep their team confident, keep their boosters happy. We chose to do the opposite, which is probably pretty dumb. You know, they're going to win the OVC. Santa Barbara's going to probably going to win the Big West. Drake's going to probably win the Valley. And I mean, you look at our schedule, and it's just a murderer's row. I mean, Ohio State Monday is really tough. Campbell's a veteran-laden team. I've been watching them. The point is that this was not an easy game, and they beat us, you know, pretty badly. You know, I talked to Sonny Friday night, and he said, you know, thanks for taking care of Western. They beat us last year. Now you got to take care of SIUE. They're very, very good. So we have a lot of I have personal lot of respect for Brian. We go back. We played against each other when he was at A&M. Our dads were friends. He actually has something on their team shirt, which is something I talked about with my dad when he died. And so to beat a friend that I respect that does a really good job, this one means more because we have to give people a reason to show up and fill the rush. We want what we have, 1,700. So next time, you know, we play, Campbell on the 30th, you know, we want to have 2,500. And then when we get in the league, you know, we want Milwaukee, we want to have 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 people in here. But you're not going to show up until you give them reason to believe. And I think this guy, along with the team playing together, will give people reason to believe.
Correct me if I heard you wrong, but it was like 2 minutes left in the huddle. It was a timeout. You said, we've been the worst defense team in the country. Look up at the scoreboard, 52 points or 5 points at that point. Just speak of today's defensive effort, regardless of how many games they've played in a row, they couldn't buy a bucket.
They couldn't. And I'm like, look, they missed a lot of threes, but some of that's by design, right? They're high volume. low percentage three-point shooting team that they shoot and they go get it as rebounders. Illinois was very impressed with them. I said, man, you got to really rebound against them. Yes, we're rebounding-wise, we're bottom 5 in the country coming into the game. Defensive analytics-wise, we're bottom 50 in the country coming into the game. And that's just coaching and effort and holding them accountable. So we made a couple of changes in terms of accountability because I'm so offensive-minded in how I want us to play, but hold them accountable. And it started with him. I took him out early in the game because he missed a box out. Took Foster out, and nobody said a word. They just sat there, got ready, got back in the game, and for the most part did better. And we don't have Mac Recchi, I thought, did a great job of coming in and stabilizing us, rebounding the basketball. And I told our coaches, we all had coffee at Legacy this morning, and I told them, like, hey, I kind of think I want to play Mac and take out one of the guards. And they were like, because he gets a little nervous. He hasn't been in great shape. And he came in and gave us huge minutes in the first and second half, especially second half. He was plus 13 in 17 minutes. That's great. So, yeah, we were one of the worst defense teams in the country, and we played one game pretty well defensively. Now we got to go to Evansville, do it again, and then we go to Ohio State on Monday.
Coach, after the St. Thomas game, you had mentioned not being within the offense. Tonight's three ball wasn't falling, maybe the way you would want, but what does it say to the guys who came back out this week in tonight's game, went to the paint, went to the rack, and got the points tonight and stayed within the offense?
Oh, it's great. We talked about letting it breathe, and Anthony asked me at halftime, he's like, what does letting it breathe mean? It's more of a broadcasting term, I think you guys know, which is, just let it breathe, let the natural sound take a place. But I don't know if he likes it. I really like our offense. I mean, part of it is it's my offense. But it really just kind of allows them to play with space and continuity and cutting. And then, it's like I can only imagine to be Anthony. I've never, even in high school, I couldn't score with the ease that he could score. So he gets it, and I'm sure he's thinking to himself, like, I can take this guy, which he can, but we have to make them defend for multiple passes. And the second time he gets it, now go to work. Because now you got the defense into rotations. Now you have really clear lanes as to who to pass to. So I was really proud of the second half where we let it breathe. We didn't hardly run any plays. We just ran offense. And then he kind of, he makes me look like a good coach when he just goes and scores. That's all me. I taught him to do all that. Like before he came here, he couldn't even, he was right-handed before he came here. So that's what we've done.
Yeah, just speaking, if we could speak on that second half, I mean, it was about halfway through. It felt like you just kind of could have whatever you wanted on the court. Felt you looked comfortable. That, whatever happened, getting taken out first minute of the first half. Same thing really happened in the second half. But once you got in the zone, speaking of how that felt, did you just kind of feel invincible a little bit at one point?
I wouldn't say invincible. I think when I came in at halftime, I told the team the one thing we've yet to do this season is pair two good halves together. And so I feel like my teammates just hold high confidence in me. I have a lot of confidence in myself. And I know even with a slow start, it's two halves to the game. It's a long game. So I don't really doubt my abilities at all. And when my teammates just support me how they do along with my coaching staff, I know shots are down to fall, and, offense will just get easier.
If we're honest, like if he was really honest, he would probably tell you he didn't think he played particularly well or shot the ball particularly well. Like, that's a B-C game for you offensively, fair?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I was at Providence, and again tonight we had a couple boosters right there, and I joke with whoever's sitting kind of close. Like, sometimes it's like, that's great coaching. Just give Anthony the ball and tell everybody to stay away. He's a special scorer with the basketball, and he's really, really working at the leadership aspect of it, which is he has it in him, but I think he was a little too terse with guys in the summer, and he's earned all their respect. And to where, some guys score 34, take 19 shots, and everybody's grumbling. Those guys want him to succeed. They really do. And even the last kick out where we didn't get anything out of it, it was a play for him to get a back door, and he probably could have laid it in and gotten an and one, but he's actually it was an unselfish 34 points with 4 assists,
Miranda, obviously, 3 seconds at the end. Is that something you were sending a message and something maybe have for practice? Is he
I don't know. We played to win, and Rui has been more consistent than him. It wasn't really it was a little bit Miranda's fault. It was a little bit Rui at the end of the first half in terms of giving up that three. That sent shivers in my spine. You know, we played so well to get back and get a lead, and then we give up a three on an OB, and a little bit of it is our fault. We put Rui in a position. He's normally on the ball in that situation. But there's lots of guys. Santoro didn't play. We played to win. We played with the guys that were locked into practice and ready to go to battle, and we just felt like, you know, those were the guys that played. Rui has been really consistent with his effort and, you know, with his fit within what we're trying to do offensively, and he's got a bright future. Anything else? Hey, one last thing. I mentioned it before. You know, Brian's dad and my dad both passed away of cancer, and it was really, really touching to me. When my dad died, it was actually 10 years ago, Thanksgiving week, and I was set to fly out to California with my family, and he had a brain bleed, and by the time we got there, he was in a coma. He never recovered. And I've told everybody who I came into contact with since, when their father is sick, that you don't tell somebody, or your dad, or your mom, or your grandma, or grandpa, or somebody close to you, that you love them. They know that you love them. To me, I always say, tell them why. Tell them what specifically about them that you love them. And Brian called me like out of the blue, and like we've been friendly, but I can't say we were like best friends. We were rivals a little bit in college when they were at A&M. And he wrote it down. It's been a big part of his coaching and his teaching. And then, of course, lo and behold, his dad got sick. And he told me that he spent some significant time with his dad and told him why. And he's a really, really solid dude. So I know he spent time up here. I know they went to Lambeau. He's about the right things. I don't think his team had the juice they normally have, but the things he's done as a human being are really special, and I want to make sure that people know that.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.